Phil Cannella grew up in a 16-foot home in Fulcroft, Pennsylvania, Delaware County. His parents raised 5 children together and worked hard to put food on the table. As a young boy in school, Phil faced several challenges. What do you do with the little ADHD boy that's disturbing the rest of the class? Phil's desk made it to the hallway by 2nd grade. That is where he met the custodian, Kenny. Kenny had muscular dystrophy, and realizing that they were both outcasts, Kenny befriended Phil. Phil's days as a defender began here. Kids would make fun of Kenny's physical disability, so Phil defended him, despite getting into trouble himself. Phil also experienced difficulties learning how to read and spell. So when it came time to move on to 3rd grade, Phil was left behind, feeling the sting while watching his friends and classmates advance to 3rd grade. When Phil was 7 years old, his dad, who worked as a milkman, sold their home to make ends meet, and the family moved in with his grandparents in Seacane, Pennsylvania. Phil learned self-confidence and perseverance in middle school and high school through his accomplishments in athletics and physical fitness. In June of 1974, Phil participated in the U.S. Marines Youth Physical Fitness Program and finished 1st overall, beating out over 400,000 competitors nationally and awarding him an athletic scholarship sponsored by General Foods. The Brigadier General overseeing the competition noticed an extraordinary ability in 19-year-old Phil, writing, "You have displayed the type of self-discipline that is necessary for an individual to be successful in life. Your leadership traits will be an asset to this nation's future, and we sincerely hope that you use your leadership ability to influence others to become fine citizens of our great country. Sincerely, E.B. Meyer, Brigadier General, U.S. Marine Corps." Phil went on to participate in the Reserve Officers Training Corps and received an honorable discharge from the U.S. Marine Corps. Looking to improve himself, Phil then reached out to his 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Sylvia, to tutor him in reading and spelling. This enabled Phil to be accepted into Cheney State through their athletic department. A year later, in 1975, Phil's grandfather, just 4 months after his retirement, had a major stroke and was confined to a nursing home where he lived out the remainder of his life. Phil was forced to drop out of college just to help pay for the mounting nursing home bills. Phil was appalled how someone can work a lifetime, get sick with something beyond their control, yet lose everything. Little did Phil realize back then the influence this event would have on the path of his career. In search of answers, Phil traveled to the Pennsylvania state capital, Harrisburg, to research long-term health care and discovered that millions of Americans were suffering the same fate as his grandpa. After exhaustive research, Phil discovered that an insurance product existed to cover the expense of a nursing home stay without impoverishing the family's estates of American retirees. By August of 1976, at age 21, Phil became licensed as a professional in the insurance industry and began knocking on doors throughout the Pennsylvania area, sharing his grandfather's story and educating retirees on how to preserve their estate and legacy. As a pioneer of long-term care, Phil experienced firsthand the struggles that everyday American retirees faced in retirement day to day. For the next 24 years, through First Senior Financial Group, Phil made it his mission in life to educate families on the crucial concerns and issues retirees face on a daily basis and offer them the solution his grandfather never had. In the late 90s, Phil was trained and endorsed by one of the country's foremost authorities on retirement accounts, Ed Slott, certifying him a chartered master IRA expert. After witnessing the devastation from the crash of '01 and '02, Phil utilized his knowledge of the insurance industry and the safe alternatives they offer and developed and created the Crash-Proof Retirement System, which is utilized today by thousands of consumers to protect their retirement from market fluctuations. In 2007, Phil's retirement system was nationally recognized by a leading industry publication, Senior Market Advisor. In 2008, motivated by yet another crash, Phil created the Crash Proof Retirement Show, which airs on the #1 talk station in Philadelphia and educates listeners across the Delaware Valley on safe investment alternatives to market risk and fees. In July 2011, Phil interviewed the nation's top regulator, the Inspector General of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, H. David Kotz. This groundbreaking interview brought to light and verified that Wall Street is fleecing a generation. The regulators don't have the ability to regulate, and mainstream media fails to report accurately on the financial industry. Once again, Phil took action, stepping down as CEO of First Senior Financial Group and relinquishing that title to Joanne Small so he can widen his reach through his new media company, Retirement Media, Inc. Truth for the American Retiree. Today, you will hear from the nation's most powerful industry leaders, esteemed economists, and top research centers in exclusive interviews that you will only see here and that will impact the way you look at and protect your nest egg and the future of your retirement.